Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Under the Radar, where we're continuing our look at sorcery. Steve Jackson sorcery, in which we are in the second part, and we'll hopefully try to somehow escape from this horrible cursed city where everything bad happens. So last time, just a quick brief, I got captured twice, fell into a river twice, had all my stuff destroyed and stolen, and like all sorts of bad stuff happened. So hopefully my luck will turn around here, and we'll see. Let's just get right down to it. Alright. The road turns and heads roughly southeast once more, but you have been spotted. A group of young Orklings are scurrying towards you. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna wait. Let's see. I don't want to run away and give them a bad impression of me. You stop and wait for them to reach. Hello, they pipe. One gold piece for our bellies? One demonstrates, pointing into an open gob which lacks teeth and, you notice, also lacks a tongue. Their hands poke at you and push outwards, hoping for a donation. I'll be nice. You hand a coin to the nearest one. The Orklings fall about themselves immediately, squabbling over it. You catch one of the Orklings by the arm. Now I get something from you. The Orkling gulps. Where have you all come from, you ask. We just had a lesson with our teacher Lorag, the Orkling answers. He lives up this road. Helpfully, he points for you. The Orklings squabble and shove one another aside. Which way do I go for the north gate? The Orklings look at you seriously. I'll tell you, he says, for one gold piece. This misses. You laugh. I'm sure you'll say anything for a gold piece. The Orkling shrugs and starts sucking at his thumbnail, eating the dirt underneath. You swat away a little Orkling whose hand has mysteriously found its way into your backpack. Who is Lorag? Well, he's our teacher, the Orkling answers, as though your question was stupid and obvious. He's a great scholar, too. Have you heard of a man called Vic, you ask? The Orklings shake their head. No. Another gold piece, demands one of the Orklings, and a moment later they are hounding you, poking and prodding. Either they are playing or they are trying to steal from you. I'll get Lorag on you, you shout. That gives them a moment's pause. The little pests hang back a little, giggling and shoving over each other. You raise the bag above your head, out of the reach of the grasping Orklings. You bow to the little creatures and take your leave of them. They smile and snigger and wave as you go. It seems you have quite charmed them. Yeah, I found 2 new clues. Alright, well, let's check out my bag. This will give me a good chance to kind of see where we were with these clues anyway. Let's see. Lord Lorag is a scholar. Scholar lives in the Red Quarter City, large house in Fireview Square. Yeah, so that's right. If we remember from last time, essentially, we've got these nobles in Khare. Vic being the first one who's a jerk and tried to kill me with a werewolf. And they seem to have some idea of how to get out of the city. Or the only way to get out of the city. Alright. Let's see. Continue up the road. You continue up the road, leaving the chattering Orklings behind. After a short distance, you come across a large building made of stones and mortar. Look at the building. It stands alone inside its own patch of grounds, and, unusually, it seems to be in a state of good repair. A large L is carved on one gatepost. For Lorag, perhaps? The main road continues straight past the house. Yeah, definitely approach. I mean, if I don't get more clues as to this gate spell, I'm gonna be stuck in this damn city forever. You enter the gate and follow the path to the front of the house between tall, well-tended trees. This place, unlike the mansion in Lower Khare, seems quite lived in. Oh yeah, the mansion, Yeah, see, I don't want to, especially since this is lived in, I don't want to take the stealthy approach here. I'm no thief. I mean, at least not most of the time. The door to the house is solid oak wood, decorated with elaborate carvings of vines and trees and serpents. In the middle is a great brass knocker. Oh, wait, no, I didn't want to do that, actually. I just wanted to knock. I wanted to knock like a normal person, dang it. You firmly knock on the door, but no one answers. The house seems empty, dark, and quiet. I mean, I could just cast Adopt, but let's check out the place for a little bit. You step back from the front door. Maybe there's another way in? You move confidently and with stealth. Dropping to all fours, you sneak through the gate and crouch low behind the window at the side of the house. But the house seems to be empty, so your caution is unnecessary. Staying close to the ground, you explore the grounds of the building. Okay, sounds like plan. You creep to the cover of an outbuilding. It was perhaps once a storehouse, but its contents have now burst through its walls. Broken items and bits of glass tumble out between bent wooden slats and through fractured window panes. Looking back at the house, you can make out a door into the rear of the house. Sure. Let's look through it. Was this place robbed or something? You pick cautiously through the junk. There's a gold-backed mirror, its glass shattered, some fragments of an orb of crystal, and a half of a pearl ring with what looks like a bite mark taken out of it. The owner of this house must be a wizard, and was not afraid to experiment with valuable equipment either. If you could repair even one of these items, it would be extremely valuable to you. Ring, mirror, crystal. Well, because I'm assuming I'm going to only have the option of one, let's see what those items do. So I need the ring. What was it? The ring, teleport. That could be real nice. Especially considering how much I get captured in this damn game. Ring, jewel. Oh, there's a pearl ring. As well as, well, render invisible. Okay, that's nice. Pendulum, yellow pallet, gale horn, fire order, stone dust. Gold back mirror must be pointed creature when cast an attack roll within created on the cover. Should each creature die, both will disappear. Okay, that's really nice. Ring of gold, jewel of gold, mask. What was the other item? Let's see. Crystal. So what did that one do? Crystal, 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 crystal. I mean, it probably might be called something different too in the spell book. Let's see. Additional potion. Yeah, I've actually got a fair bit of magic items, which is nice. Definitely the more spells you have access to in this game, the easier it is. Bracelet. Crystal orb. So let's see a little way into the future. Okay, I'm gonna try going for the ring, because it seems like invisibility would really get me out of a lot of scrapes here. You pick up a piece of the ring. There really are tooth marks in it. Someone has eaten the pearl itself, or perhaps they ate the person wearing the ring and spat this part out. Either way, it is incomplete and cannot be repaired. You toss it back into the junk heap. Oh, that's disappointing. How about the mirror? You lift the gold-backed mirror carefully out of the pile. The grass is clacked, but none of it has seemed to fallen out of frame, which means you may well be able to repair it. Let's try using some glue. Use the last of your glue. You painstakingly stick the mirror fragments back onto the handle of the mirror. It's slow work, but when you are done, you have made yourself a serviceable gold-backed mirror. Certainly good enough for spell casting. Okay, that's good. Repair the crystal. You lift the crystal shard from the junk cautiously. Once, this orb would have contained swirling depths in a deep fog and allowed the user to cast a spell of foreshadowing, but now it is good for nothing. Most of it is missing. You fling it aside. Enough of this. You leave the junk pile and its broken treasures and turn your attention to the back of the door of the house. You're in luck, it seems. It is slightly ajar. Okay, well, hold on. Let me see, because that mirror spell sounds really badass. What was it? Because I'm going to have to remember that one now. Kin. Okay, that means, so kin, like kindred. So it makes a copy. Alright, let's see. Let's try the back door. You open the back door. It has been carelessly left unlocked. You go inside. Oh good, that saves me a spell. Inside. The inside of the house is well kept and clean. There are fresh flowers in vases, and the surfaces are dust-free. It is as though whoever lived here has just slipped out for a few minutes and will return at any moment, except for the paper, strewn everywhere across the hallway. The floor is almost a foot deep in books, torn pages, and folders with charred edges. It's as though a lightning storm has passed through the study on the left. Another door lies opposite. By the smell of it, it is the kitchen. Yeah, it definitely seems like somebody was looking for something. Let's see if we can figure out what it is. You browse through the papers. Some are complex and you cannot understand the words. Others are calculations. There are also maps and charts and plans of Khare, the hills, and the Baklands to the north. Other documents look almost like charts for spellmaking, such as the chief mage used back in the outpost settlement to prepare your spellbook. Whoever lived here was clearly a scholar of some great wisdom, and most likely a wizard as well. Exploring doesn't seem like a good idea somehow. Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I can't... Hmm. Nah, screw it. Let's just see if I can explore a little bit. I mean... You open the door to the study, pushing hard against the deeper pile of paper. This room looks like a tornado has traveled through it, and perhaps one has. In the very center of the room is a blackened circle burnt into the carpet. There is a smell of iron and ammonia in the air. It is hard to escape the sense that some great and terrible magic was performed here, not long ago. But there's no sign of the magician who has crafted such a powerful spell. See, I feel like I'm gonna die, but I can't overcome that curiosity to just see what's inside. On all fours, you dig through the piles of paper. Books, torn up almanacs, historical files, and sheets of scrawl and scribble. There's nothing here with any meaning. On one sheet, you find an intriguing series of symbols. In Q? Then a series of other marks, written and then crossed out. Only one is still readable. It has been circled. Upside down L? You keep searching through the paper, finding little else of value. Then, underneath a heap of tomes about the early founders of the city, with several passages underlined and marked with comments you cannot read, you unearth a green-haired wig, which you put into your pack. Oh, that's nice. That gives me some more options. You return to the hallway. There's a slight noise coming from the kitchen. Suddenly, something erupts through the kitchen door, knocking you flat on your back and rearing its fangs. A bristle beast, and it's furious. Okay, well, hold on. Let's see. What did that new, green-haired wig give me? Where are you, green-haired wig? Ah, okay. So I can do rap or yap. Use a spell. The caster must be wearing green hair spin in conjunction with a spell. Allow the caster to understand the language of and communicate with creatures speaking a non-human tongue. Yap. Understand language, communicate with most animals. It will be ineffective unless the caster is wearing a green-haired wig. Okay, cool. So now I can talk to animals. In fact, let's see if I can try it out. Cast a spell. Can I talk to you now? Let's see. I can do... doesn't look like it's gonna let me do it. You know what? Let's just fight it. Let's just kick it old school here real quick and see what I can do. Alright, so yeah, it doesn't seem like it's got much attack power, so let's just start off with a moderate. Pow! The bristle beast bares its teeth and the spines on its back spike up. You stab for its throat. The beast lashes out with its claws, but it cannot defend itself from your force. The bristle beast scales explode with thick blood. Yeah, let's just go with another 5. Ka-pow! You batter the bristle beast towards the kitchen wall, cutting it down as it swings its head, only to catch your blade more deeply. The beast hisses and rattles its spine, clearly weakening. Yeah, I feel like this is too easy. I almost wonder if I shouldn't have tried to understand it or do something weird to avoid this battle. Because I feel like killing this thing's probably going to bite me in the butt. You best the bristle beast again, slicing into the scaly hide. With a final swing, you bury your blade deep into the bristle beast. It twists on the metal, then curls up like an overheated beetle and dies. With the creature dead, you pause to catch your breath. Where now? To the kitchen. You open the door to the kitchen and go inside. It is laid out as though the owner of the house was in the middle of preparing a meal. Bread is sliced, cheese is on a plate, and a glass of wine sits beside the open bottle. Nothing here has had time to go moldy. Yeah, what the hell? I need the stamina, honestly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a thief, but I'm starving to death. You eat the bread and drink the wine, and finish off with the cheese, which is full-flavored and ripe. There's enough left over you to add one more ration to your pack as well. You go back out into the hallway. You have explored enough. You leave the house and return to the street outside. Okay, well, that wasn't as enlightening as I would have liked, but at least I got some food out of it. You return to the main road. Follow the road. The road continues on, between dense houses on either side, when suddenly you begin to smell a sharp, acrid smell. Burning. Looking up ahead, you see a column of smoke. Is the district on fire? Can't really think of any spell that would be helpful here. Let's push onward. You stride forward, rounding a corner of the road, until you can see the source. It is fire, but not a blazing house. Instead, it comes from an enormous forge set into a large blacksmith shop. The blacksmith himself is at work, hammering away on a flat-bladed sword. Approach him. You approach the blacksmith and try to attract his attention by waving, But it seems the blacksmith is quite deaf. Years of hammering on sparkling metal has left him quite oblivious to everything around him. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to steal something. Let's just tap his arm. You walk over and tap his arm, and the blacksmith jumps. "Didn't see you there!" he bellows, too loudly. The man is clearly not that bright. "I didn't mean to scare you." "Not scared," the blacksmith replies hotly. "Me? Of you? Nah." The blacksmith polishes his blade lovingly. Tell me about your swords." "This one's my finest," he replies proudly, indicating the blade he is currently polishing up. "A blade of a large hand." "Large hand?" "Large hand," the blacksmith agrees. "It's large handry." You reach out and try the blade, but the blacksmith catches your arm. "I warn you," he says. "Once you've tried it, you won't want any other. It's not a cheap blade." "I'll risk it." The blacksmith shrugs and releases your arm. "Go on, then." You flick up the blade and swing it through the air. It sings. The weight is perfect. The metal sharpened. Its balance so delicate it becomes almost an extension of your arm. This is the finest blade you have ever held. "How much?" The blacksmith grins. "I told ya. Ready for it? 40 gold pieces." 40? The blacksmith nods. "That's right, 40. Haggle. "I'll give you half that," you begin, but the blacksmith only laughs. "You aren't talking to a child," he replies. 40, or I sell it to the next one by." "That's too much." The blacksmith nods and takes the blade back with loving care. "It'll find its owner sooner enough, I'm sure." "Do you make wolf armor?" you ask, thinking about the strange werewolf you saw. The blacksmith looks at you with fierce, cold eyes. Vic for first noble," he replies, but says nothing more. "Who is Vic?" "He's a boss," the blacksmith replies. "Has been for a long time, just making it official." The blacksmith quietly hammers something. The noise makes your head spin. "I'm interested in the North Gate's bell." "I make swords," he replies with a shrug. "Not magic. Y'all want a sword, maybe?" The blacksmith goes over to the back of his shop and downs a quick mug of ale. "I'd best do work," he says as he returns. "Be gone." Then he begins to hammer so loudly you fear for your hearing, so you quickly run out of the shop. Well, that wasn't handy at all. Maybe I should have handled the Vic thing differently. Oh well. You walk between the narrow buildings until you reach a fork. To the left, the road continues towards some kind of bustling market, while the right leads down a shorter street. In the center of the fork is a great bronze statue with some kind of pot at its feet. Look at the statue. The statue is of a giant brute wielding a club, and at its feet is a large pot filled with gold pieces. This must be one of Khare's many gods, with the pot intended for worshippers making offerings, although none of the passing creatures seem to be throwing any in. Look down the short street. Looking down the short street to the right, you see a sign above the doorway reading "The Gambling Halls of Vladia." Several seedy-looking creatures mill about on the steps. Cheerful creatures go in, and miserable ones come out. Time to move on. Oh jeez. Oh jeez, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. Let's check out the statue. You go over to the statue and look into the pot. It seems to contain almost 20 gold pieces. Tilting your head, you look upwards at the statue. He is an imposing figure, at least 4 times your height and solidly armed. You do not recognize the god depicted, but his presence so close to the gambling hall suggests he's either a god of prosperity or a god devoting to punishing to those who do not pay their bets. Yeah, let's just leave that alone. It seems most suspicious. So much gold out in the open? It must be a trap. The day is drawing on. Alright, well, let's check out the house first, I guess, before we go on. You enter the shade of a long hall, filled with bodies and smoke, but strangely silent. No one is speaking, and the only noise is the constant rattling of dice which rolls around the raftered ceiling like thunder. Only the occasional cheer and curse breaks the mood. By the door is a booth, and the gambling tables are out in the main hall. A great cheer goes up from one of the tables. Let's check out the booth first. You go over to the booth where a thin lady is handing out gambling chips. She smiles at you. "Welcome, sir," she croons in a voice which sounds like a crocodile pretending to be a songbird. "How much can I get you?" "What's the game?" you ask. The lady laughs at you. "What else?" she replies. "Swindlestones. Do you know how to play?" "Of course," you reply. "I could hardly be in Khare for a day and not know." "No," she replies. Then she drops her voice down low. "But you'll find the players here are quite good." How much should I take? You ask. I'm new here. Oh, she purrs. We love new players at the halls of Lada. You give us all your gold. No real money is allowed on the premises. Then, when you leave, we give you what you've still got. I mean, what you've won. It's very simple. I mean, I've only had one gold, so what have I got to lose? You hand over all your money. The Spin Lady counts it out slowly and meticulously as though she's not very good at counting. Then she hands over one chip. Have fun, she says cheerfully, gesturing to the gaming floor. The gaming floor. You walk out into the hall. Players of all races and descriptions sit either side of two long wooden benches, starting games with each other, fighting them out, and then exchanging chips and moving on. It is like a kind of stately dance, played with great dedication, almost entirely in silence. An old man, a grizzled sailor, and a brustly innkeeper are waiting to play. You notice the old man has only one arm. Let's say, wait and watch. You sit back and watch for a while. The players on the tables form themselves into pairs and settle down to play in deathly silence. The rattle of dice fills the hall like the clash of swords in a barrack room. Nearby, on the two tip tables, the old man and sailor have just finished a game. The sailor must have won because he stands, cracks his knuckles, and moves to the table with a 5-chip bet. The tables are arranged in different sections by the size of bet and the number of dice to be played. Sad-looking creatures move down from high-stakes tables to lower ones. Brassy and bold creatures move up. And the cheap table is the old man. At the table with 5-chip wagers, the sailor. On the other side of the room, at the 10-chip table, the innkeeper is waiting to play. The Spin Lady leaves a booth at the front of the hall and makes a circuit of the room, offering refreshments at the cost of 4 gambling chips. The burly innkeeper buys 2 rolled-up flatbreads and devours them without looking. Oh, so I don't even have enough, I think, to actually gamble. You've had enough. You return to cash your chips at the booth. Yeah, I think I need at least 5. And yeah, I got that too. I like how even though I had 1 gold, it still meticulously counted out. But yeah, I'm surprised they even let me in because I guess I don't even have enough to bet once. The Spin Lady smiles and exchanges your chips for 1 gold piece. You reply with a smile and head back to the street. Well, that was a pointless detour. Head up the road towards the giant statue once more. Still have plenty of ground to cover. Alright, let's go up this way first. Check out the square. You head back down the road under the arch and into the plaza. On this side of the square, the main road continues on through a low arch. 1,000 other alleyways lead off in all directions into Upper Khare. Creatures push and knock into you as they make their way across the plaza, despite there being plenty of space. None of them seem to be looking where they are going. There is something strange about them in general. Their bodies are spindly, their faces long, with downturned mouths. In fact, their eyes all seem to be closed. From a side alley, 2 red-eyed guards burst into the square, looking hot and bothered. They turn their faces this way and that, but don't seem to be able to catch your scent. A moment later, they dive back into the alleyways and continue the hunt. You have lost them. Whoops. I actually kind of wanted to approach the monument, but oh well. I misclicked an alley. You choose a random alleyway on the right-hand side of the square and slip into the shadow between the tall buildings. The houses either side are well built and well defended. There are iron railings on the windows, and some even have arrow slits and portcullises. One householder has dug a moat across his front door. Outside on one building, a tall man stands with a grappling hook. Wow, I better be careful here because it seems like thieves are really bad. You hang back and watch, and as he swings his grappling hook twice, aiming for one of the windows on the floor above, the hook misses and clatters to the street below, and the man curses before gathering up the rope for another try. Well, I'm naive and nice, so let's see what happens. You stride over to the man, and he swings his hook once more. Greetings, you begin with a respectful nod. The man turns to you. Stranger, he says, I'm in a terrible fix. The man gathers the rope for another swing. He is clearly tiring. What is the problem, you ask? I've been locked out, he answers. This is my home, and I've lost my key, but I've got a terrible throw, as you can probably see. The man throws again, and misses again. Where did you get the grappling hook, you ask, still suspicious. Would you believe it? I found it, he replies with a sigh, near an old well in the wasteland. I was wandering about there, feeling sorry for myself, and I chanced across it. I need directions, you say. Perhaps you could help me. Directions? Why, well... The man looks irritated, but not unhelpful. Certainly. Where do you need to go? The ruins. He clocks his head down the alley. Keep going straight. You're almost there. Though why you'd want to visit them, I can't guess. The man gives up. He winds the rope around his shoulder, then cups his hands to his mouth. Esme, will you just open the door and let me in? For a moment, nothing happens. Then a bucket of slop is thrown out over the man. He stands, dripping in muck. Who's Esme? You ask from a safe distance away. Take my advice, stranger, he grumbles. Never marry an elven. They may have lovely eyes, but they're thoroughly untrustworthy. He stalks away up the alley. Time for you to move on. Well, I think it's nice that he actually wasn't a thief, but he apparently has some relationship troubles. I guess maybe I should have helped him. Well, I guess let's go this way because even though that monument back there was interesting, I would like to go to the ruins and actually make some progress out of getting out of this damn city. Street is falling into disrepair around you. Something has blighted this region of the city. Even the trees and the gardens behind the mansions have turned black where they stand. The only greenery is the moss on the stone walls. There are no rats scurrying underfoot, and only spiders roost in the rooftops. You pass a particularly grand house, its doors locked with a heavy iron chain. There is a metal S bolted beneath one gable. Perhaps it is an owner's mark. Perhaps it is there to stop the wall falling out onto the street. There's a ringing noise from down the alley. A hooded creature with a bell around its neck is approaching in shuffling steps. A long black robe conceals what manner of creature it is, but it walks slowly as though in great pain. Around its neck is a bell ringing with every step. Yeah, this looks bad. So I think I'm just going to The door to the house is locked with a heavy padlock chain. You tried to pry it with the tip of your sword, but achieved nothing. Now that this creature is close, you can hear it sighing painful breath. You know what, though? Part of me is thinking this thing is scary and it's going to eat me. Another part is maybe he's just an unlucky guy in a bad situation like me. So, you know what? I'm gonna go against my better judgment. What I want to do here is unlock the door with a dop spell and sneak inside. But I'm gonna actually try to turn the other cheek here. See what happens. Greetings, stranger, you call. The creature with the bell does not look up but continues its shuffling approach. As the hooded creature passes, you can smell the same terrible stench of death you encountered in the village of Uristani in the hills. You step back, not wanting to brush the cloth as the creature passes. Oh wait, shit, I can heal him. So it's not actually a terrible creature. This is it's just somebody with a plague. But now I actually have the spell, Doc. Of course, I should have known. Let's do this. Cast a spell. I think I can heal him. That would be cool if I can actually do that. Alright, so Doc. No, not that. Oh, is it the little D? Yeah, Doc. Heals disease. You cast a spell over your potion, creating a strong healing medicine. The effect will last as long as the magic does, but when the magic fades, the potion will evaporate away as if it has not been used. The creature, with a bell around its neck, passes you without looking up and shuffles away. Wait, so can I not give him the potion? I guess let's just drink it. Knock back the magically enchanted potion and suddenly feel much better. Ah, I guess I can't heal him then. Hurry up. You leave the empty house behind. A narrow alley opens up on your left, slipping between the buildings. Yeah, okay, that sucks. I was kind of hoping I could actually heal him with it. Alright, well, I guess let's just follow the buildings. The buildings are thinning out. Through a gap between the roofs, you can make out a tall, crooked steeple some way away, like a finger pointing up towards the heaven. A dark shape sits at its very tip. At the very least, I have more stamina now, so it's not a total loss. As you watch, the shape seems to grow wide, then flatten once more, as though it had opened and closed. A bird, perhaps, or simply a flag, draping downwards in the still air? Yeah, I'm not really sure what I could have done. Maybe I could have tried to communicate him, chat, but I'm not sure. Not really sure what the best way to go about that was. But oh well. I mean, I tried. You emerge from the alley into a wide area of wasteland. Once this was a busy city district, but now it looks as though a hurricane has leveled it. Nothing stands higher than head height. A few staircases lead to nowhere, and in some places a door still stands. Plants grow from every crevice and crack as though someone had poured green paint over the whole scene. Things are constantly moving and shuffling between the leaves. Perhaps somewhere here you will find Theda, the beggar who used to be a noble. Yeah, I hope so, because it seems like so far I haven't done a good job of finding any actual clues to the future. So hopefully now I can actually find something valuable. The road, such as it is quickly smothered by piles of wreckage. There are lots of other ways to pick your way through. One possible route leads up and over the side of a broken down house. Another passes by what might have once been a mill. You would have climbed over the mill wheel to continue this. You would have to climb over the mill wheel to continue this way. Uh, Look at the broken house. The house has been sliced like a mini layered cake, showing the floors that were once inside. Open rooms have been stripped of their color by the wind and light, and of their possessions by a decade or more of scavengers. But there are still hints that this place was once a family home. The hooks in the ceiling above the hearth, the marched knocks on the ground floor pillar that suggest the height of growing children. Who would build a mill out here so far from the river? Still, there is a gigantic mill wheel lying on its side in the path. Despite the state that the building next to it is in, the wheel itself seems perfectly intact, and has not even lost its perfect circular shape. Honestly, I'm more interested in the, yeah, I'm more interested in the mill wheel. Let's see, why is there a mill here? That's curious. Clamber up the side of the mill wheel, swing your leg across the side, then suddenly you're falling. No. No, I don't know if I like this. You are floating slowly down through the air, turning over and over. You are in pitch blackness and cannot see a thing. Then a spot of light appears. It grows wider, wider, until you finally emerge to a fate that is nearly worse than death. Standing in a sewer. You have landed in a pile of unbelievable filth. Slime, excrement, sludge, dung, and dregs, all the way up to your neck. You are evidently in the sewers of Khare. You start to struggle up to your feet when a splashing sound to your left draws your attention to a small opening in the wall right next to your ear. Something is coming. Stay standing. Ow. You cannot bring yourself to duck. You simply hold your breath as a filthy liquid explodes from the chute. A moment later, you are violently sick. Gasping for breath, you wipe yourself off as best as you can and wade out of the heap of filth. You can feel it in your eyebrows and your boots. Oh, that's great. So now I'm literally stuck in crap. Like, this city is awful. I hate this place. You stand in a cavernous sewer tunnel, filled knee deep with a slow flowing, stench filled water. It is pitch black. You could be standing on a mountaintop or inside a coffin, except that is for a single speck of light somewhere far in the distance. Let's wait for a second, get my bearings. You wait, and within a few moments the tunnel is filled with goblins. They are not one or two, but a whole army led by a tall, stocky elder goblin chanting a weird, guttural song. They pause a short distance away from you, and the leader steps forward. You should not be here, the goblin declares. This is the domain of the Mad King, and of us. Apologize. You bow your head. I apologize. I lost my way. That much is certainly true. He draws a curved blade and sharpens it against one claw. Take me to the king, you demand. The goblin laughs. Certainly, we will drag your corpse to his feet. He gestures behind him, and one of his warriors steps up, grinning, drawing a long hooked blade. Alright, well, looks like I'm in for a fight here. Let's see, what do we got? Can I do... What's the nose plug one? Is it... No. That's not it. I may have to go consult my book of spells here. Mud, I don't want to do that one. Let's see. Hold on. Let me consult my book here real quick. What was the gas one? Match, pop, dim, fall, fog. Niff. Let me try fog or niff. I was thinking it started with an M for some reason. Oh shit, nope. Whoops. Well. Alright, well, I guess I'm... Oh, okay, no, never mind. I have a chance to back out here. Right? No? No? Alright. Okay, looks like I'm in it for the long haul then. No spell for me. Oh, well, I got this. Ah! Well, that didn't work. The creature rushes towards you. You steady your footing and perform a skillful slicing blow, hoping to connect while the monster is off guard. The goblin moves away, quaking with adrenaline. The creature bares his teeth and stamps his feet in the muck. Ah! Yay! Chasing it, you charge forward and drive your blade at its arm. The goblin has its weapon hefted for a blow, leaving it self-exposed. Another strong attack and I should be able to win it out. Wah! You sustain the pressure on the goblin. Keeping your weight back, you swipe across the goblin's skull. The creature has its sword hefted for a strike. The creature is unprotected. The goblin is weakening. The creature eyes your movements fearfully. Okay, I think it's going to try to defend, so let's just go for broke. You catch the goblin in a slashing blow on the skull. The goblin wedgie catches most of the blow. The goblin is almost defeated. The creature hefts its sword into the air. Alright, so let's just defend this time. Boop. Yeah, okay, good. On instinct, you drop back, watching the goblin carefully. It springs forward with a half-hearted attack with its weapon, but you knock it away. You hold your gaze on it. The goblin waves its short sword in the air. Alright, go for broke again. And yeah, I know I have the option to back out, but like I said, I don't want to do a rewind purely because I did a bad choice. I'll only do a rewind if I die. So I'm gonna make use of my mistakes and go for broke. You jump forward with your blade and push your blade at its arm. You have defeated the goblin. 1 stamina loss. Decent dueling. Alright, continue. The goblin leader laughs. He gestures another of his minions to attack you. Although, seems like it's going to go on forever, so let's see if I can back out of it somehow. So I can't do fog, I can't do Nif, do big, I can maybe do... Yeah, you know what? I don't know how many of them there are, though, is a problem. But I'm not sure if there's any way I could get away. What's this? Hot? Yeah, I don't want to do that. This is pop, I guess. I mean, that's nice and all, but I just don't really see the use of it. Yak. Illusion of worship. I guess I just fight my way out, because it doesn't seem like I can't really do the smell. I mean, I guess it is already smell. I can't do fog. I can't really do anything to help me escape. So it looks like I'm in it to win it anyway. So let's just do it. On the plus side, these guys didn't seem too hard to kill. So let's just do some low attacks and see if I can just beat them out. Bow. The goblin marches towards you. You ready your sword grip and perform a quick cutting attack, hoping to connect all the creatures off guard. Colin slashes sideways, hoping to strike you in the side with its little sword. Creature waves its short sword, but looks a little tired. Yeah, it seems like I can just keep wailing out like 3.5s on this guy and just win him out every time. Chasing the creature, you charge forward and drive the side of your sword into its chest. The goblin's own weak squeeze is eagerly turned away. The goblin is weakening. Yeah, see, these guys are easy. I don't know, something about this is starting to worry me. Goblin leader frowns. He is starting to get angry. He motions one more of the goblins into battle. Okay. The goblin charges forward to the muck. You ready your sword grip to swing with a fast slicing blow, hoping to connect one of the goblin smash stares at you intently. Okay, he's just defending. Creature stares at you nervously. Let's just hit him with another 4. Oh wow, he's just defending the whole time. The goblin dodges and runs across the sewer. Where you drop back into a defensive posture. The goblin tries to catch you, glancing up, but you're ready for it. There we go. That's what I needed. To charge forward and power the edge of your sword towards that goblin's follows you intensely. Just finish it. Dang, that was probably a dumb move. I got this. No! Crap. I'm getting cocky. I got too into this. Oh well, like I said, I'm gonna keep going. That was shameful. I could have done much better there. Alright, well, like I said, I'm gonna keep continuing. The first signs of genuine fear are showing on the goblin leader's face. He instructs one more of his soldiers to draw a sword. I don't know, this guy's a little bit more powerful. Alright, well, they all seem to start off with a defense, so... Oh, no! The creature rushes forth through the filth. You steady your footing and drop back, blade flicking out to catch your opponent. The goblin hisses and aims at you with its little sword. You stagger a few steps. It follows your stance. Alright. Oh, no, this guy's doing good against me. Next, you are attacking the goblin. You dart forward and drive the side of your blade towards its neck. By sheer luck, the blade takes some of the blow. The goblin shows its teeth and stamps its feet in the muck. Oh gosh, this guy's killing me. No! The goblin is at your throat, launching a massive cut. You swing to strike its skull, but lose your balance. You are seriously injured. Okay, alright, I can do this. Mm, on instinct, you duck back into defensive posture. The goblin tries with sideway blows, but you are not caught off guard. The creature watches you fearfully. Okay, at least I didn't waste too much stamina there. You stick the goblin a quick wound on the skull. The goblin turns and runs across the tubble. The creature follows you nervously. Let's do a 3, because I think he might attack a little bit. No, okay, he just defends. Following the creature, holding your weight back, you slash slightly. By sheer luck, the goblin sword catches some of the blow. It flexes its sword, but looks a little weak. Alright, let's go for full, see if I can beat him out. Wow! Okay, that's good. You keep your attack on the creature. You dart forward and push your sword into its neck. The goblin's own feeble stroke is no threat. The goblin is weakening. The creature growls and spits. Oh no! Oh no, I'm dead! Ah, shit. The goblin seizes his chance, launching a vicious lunge with sword. The goblin's last stroke ends your life. You fall to the floor. Okay, I can do this. Alright, so he attacked first off last time though, right? Okay, there we go. Ours is teeth and spit, so it's probably going to try a big one. So let's go with... Let's do 4.5. Oh no! That's no good. Weekend. Alright, let's do a small one because I think he's going to defend. Oh no, I did real bad this time. I might just want to use a spell because I'm not doing so well on these. This last guy is a little bit tougher than his friends. I'm just going to try random stuff. Flail button. This is the equivalent of button mashing. Alright. So it looks like I'm locked into a fight as opposed to a spell. So let's see if I can do this. Alright. Let's start off with a defend. Okay. Not so bad. Nothing happens. The goblin marches forward through the sewer. You try to gauge his size and bring your sword to cover your head. The goblin moves back, shaking with terror. The creature flexes its short sword into the air. Okay, so that means I think he's going to go for an attack. So let me try to beat him out. I'm going to go a little bit more heavy on these just to make sure I win them. Next, you are on the goblin. You dart forward and power the edge of your blades towards its arm. Its own weak blow is easily turned away. It shows its teeth and spits. Okay, I'm pretty sure that means it's going to do another attack. So let's go with another. Let's do 5.5. That should be enough. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Now I got this. Following it, holding your weight back, you swipe sideways. The goblin has its blade lifted for a strike and has left itself unprotected. The goblin is weakening. The creature flexes its short sword in the air. So let's defend. Okay, I could have beaten it out, but it wasn't worth the risk. Cautious, you duck back, watching the goblin intently. It jumps out with a half-hearted swing with its little blade, but you turn it away. You ready your focus. Alright, let's go with another 5.5. If he attacks out, I'm going to win. Perfect. Oh, well, I still got one more. You leap forward and power the side of your blade towards its arm. The goblin moves to defend itself, but too slowly. The goblin is almost defeated. The goblin flails his short sword. Okay, so I'm going to defend because I can't risk dying here. Okay, perfect. So now let's just put everything into it, and I'm going to win no matter what. Now, you have defeated the goblin. 2 stamina lost, competent combat. Continue. Enough, the goblin leader cries. You waste my time and my soldiers. Go in peace. And with that, he waves his army on. They march off into the tunnel. I guess I'll just let them go. There are so many goblins that it takes several minutes for them all to pass by. Clearly, they could have had your neck if they had so chosen. You have been lucky. At the rear are 2 goblin generals. How many more soldiers does the Mad King want? The first asks the second as they pass your position. Thousands, the second replies, then spits. But he'll get what he gets. That he will, the first agreed, testing his blade on his thumb. The 2 walk on, still talking and muttering voices. Goblins are tamping away up the sewer. You have found one new clue. I guess that clue is you got murdered by goblins? Is that my clue? Goblin army. Tunnel under car, goblins are massing for an attack. Okay. So I can follow the goblins or I can head the other way. I mean, considering how much I just got wrecked by the goblins, but on the other hand, they might know a way out, right? Otherwise, I'm totally lost. Let me actually try to follow the goblins. I feel like, oddly enough, I think that might be safer than me wandering around the ruins alone. You trail along behind the goblins like a shadow. The Blackland tribes are ready, the first goblin general hisses. The second goblin makes a chittering noise, something close to a laugh. Ready to run through the city like a river of molten steel at a word from the king. A few words, the first goblin replies, but I have learnt a few myself. Ear, one hisses, suddenly stopping and cocking an ear. What was that? Hmm. Yeah, let's freeze. I don't want to risk getting caught. You freeze. The goblins keep walking away out of earshot, not stopping. They do not look round, but continue talking in low voices. Alright, let's try to catch up. You hurry to catch up with the goblins. This feels suspicious. I think I'm gonna get caught. Tunnel turns a corner. Something glints from the side of the sewer. You stop to look at it, losing sight of the goblins once more. It is a vial of potion. You uncork it and take a sniff. Blimberry. Yeah, let's stash it. You stash the potion in your pack for later. The goblins disappear around a corner of the sewer. Alright, let's keep going. I should probably eat too. Yeah, let's go ahead and eat. I mean, I'm so low that it would definitely be worth it, I think. Eat one of your rations. I mean, that's not much, but at least it helps a little bit. You are back in earshot of the goblins. You know one of the lines? One goblin is quizzing the other. The goblin spits an agreement. I overheard the Mad King whisper to himself. His voice drops for a moment and you only hear the second half of what he says. And Forga's pride. Just then you see more lights up ahead. It seems the sewer is opening into a wider space. Yeah, let's keep going. I'm in it to win it now. Peering through, you see a huge chamber like an underground cathedral. Water pours in through narrow channels and openings high in the walls, and several wooden ladders disappear upwards. But your eyes are taken by the center of the room. It is filled with goblins like a ship's hold filled with rats. They swarm around one another, clashing swords and baring teeth. In the middle of it all, on an improvised throne, sits a man hunched low. He wears a metal circlet on his head. Let's go. Yeah, let's just check it out. You slip into the hall. I'm probably going to die. You slip into the hall. It is warm, the fetid breath of 1,000 creatures who drink and laugh and clash swords down in the muck. On his throne, their king seems to be sleeping, or else they have killed him by accident. He is a man, not a goblin. How does he control this rabble? The man is thin, as if he has not eaten in months, and pale, as if he has been in the dark just as long. His hair is long and gray, and he slumps over the side of his throne as though desperately ill. His clothes are long soiled robes that perhaps were once quite fine. On his head he wears a gray circlet of dull silver metal you cannot quite place. The king coughs suddenly. The effect is bizarre. At the noise, every goblin in the great chamber freezes and looks up. You shift your position in the darkness to try and get a better view of the king's strange circlet. You cannot place the material. It does not seem to be iron or the steel of a blade. It is not precious either, yet the king treats it gingerly, as though it was made of glass. Suddenly you remember what Flanker told you after you spared his life. The goblins were mining in Shamutani Hills for the metal used to make the crown of kings, a metal for a crown of leadership. What if they have found it? What if the power of the crown is what is holding this group of goblins under thrall? The king pushes on the arm of his chair, attempted to stand, then shivers and falls down. Silence, he whispers. The chamber is suddenly quiet. You wait, transfixed by the strange scene. The king the king fingers the circlet on his head as if scared it will slip. My creatures, he whispers, the time is almost upon us. As the night draws in, we will rise up and open the gates. We will rub this filthy city clean. He has broken off into a fit of coughing. The goblins horde all frozen to attention, every face towards the king in a strange rapture. The long journey is nearly over, declares the king, raving with madness. The process I began when I blinded Lord Theta and left him a beggar. Finally, the council will be destroyed and the city will cleanse. You keep waiting, wanting to see what comes next. A goblin close by your elbow murmurs, How much longer do we have to listen to this? His companion silences him with a talon to the arm. Strange, if the circlet has the power to the crown, such rebellion should be impossible. You stay hidden and wait. The king finally gets to his feet and raises a wizened arm into the air. I will open the gates for you tonight, he cries, and we will make the city pure. The king raises a cheer, and the goblins as one cheer back, throwing their swords up in the air. 1,000 blades flash, and the confusion when they land is extreme, every goblin cowering for cover and squabbling to retrieve their blade. You stay hidden and wait. The king calls for silence, but the goblin does not hear him. They are still in a mess with their swords. Okay, now is the time to make a move, I think. You have one new clue. Creep to a ladder. Sticking to the shadows, you begin to creep around the perimeter of the hall, aiming for one of the long ladders that disappear up into the darkness. You get about halfway before the goblins nearby turn, pushing at each other, and you are forced to freeze. The king calls again for silence, clutching his circuit with one hand. This time, the goblins fall silent. You realize with a heavy heart that you have missed the best opportunity you will get to escape the chamber by the ladder. Oh, shoot. Well, I guess let's wait. You stay hidden and wait. The goblins carouse and celebrate. The room is becoming unbearably hot and fetid. Time to go. Um, let's try the ladder again. Hopefully this works out. You creep further along the edge of the hall. The goblin celebrations are turning into a fight. You will be caught in the middle of it if you can't get out of the way. No, I guess I have to go back to the sewer. That sucks. Make your way back around the hall. Around you, a group of goblins are attacking each other with picks and swords. One is thrown backwards, landing on top of you. Another brings down the blade. The goblin rolls to one side, and the blade hits you inside. Oh shit, you have been killed in a goblin skirmish. Oops. Well, let's just pretend that didn't happen. Um, Wait, okay, so let's rewind to, let's see. Ladder. Let's do the slip inside, and then we'll see if we can try to escape the ladder. Creep up to the ladder. And just look at the circlet. Move. See if I can keep going up the ladder here. Look at the goblins. Can move. Yeah, let's see. Reach the ladder. Okay, let's see if I can make my way out here. Taking advantage of the confusion, you scurry quickly up the ladder. For a few rungs you are in the open, and must look like a strange oversized rat climbing the rigging in this underground cell. But you climb fast and quietly, and are quickly lost to the shadows overhead once more. You climb the ladder into a narrow stone chimney which climbs at an angle. After a while, the ladder gives out, and there's nothing but stone above you, and in the distance, a circle of light. Oh, balls. Is there a spell I can actually use to help with this? I can't really think of anything, honestly. At least one that I have access to. Because I know there's Zen, which lets me float, but I don't have the ability to do that, because I don't have... I think I'm just gonna have to... Yeah, let's just try to climb it, I guess. Hopefully I don't fall. Taking your heart in your mouth, you wedge your fingers into whatever cracks in the stones you can find, pin your feet on either side of the well shaft, and begin to climb. Hope this works. The going is slow, and dizzying drop below is terrifying. You feel whatever confidence you have built up slipping away. About 2/3 of the way up, you realize how much there is still to go. It is as though the walls are moving downwards rather than moving you up. I just gotta keep going. If I pause and gather my strength, I'm just gonna burn myself out. There's no time to pause or wait. You keep climbing despite the growing pain in your legs and the burning in the muscles of your arms. From below you hear the carouseling of the golem horde. No choice but to keep going. Yeah, if I pause, I feel like I would just tire myself out more. Then finally your arms begin to shake violently. Your foot slips and you slide a few feet downwards, pushing out with your arms and try to catch yourself. You cannot hold your weight like this. You cannot get your fingers to grip the stone. Your only moments until you fall. You have died from a fall. Jesus! Okay, I'm not doing well at all. Alright, let's try to, I guess rewind and just say screw this noise. I'll slip in and listen to the king a little bit. But then I guess I'm going back to the sewer once I kind of learn these clues here. Look at the circlet. Look at the goblins. Wait and listen. Wait and listen. Wait and listen. Alright, so let's get out of here. Fuck this place. Creep back down to the sewer you came by. Apparently that was just all sorts of death. So what clue did I get here? Whoops. My Fergus pride. I don't know. I didn't see. Alright, well, whatever. back the way I came from. Yeah, I don't know. Well, see, I'm wondering if stopping to rest would have maybe made it, but it seems to me like stopping to rest would have just made me more tired because I would have been hanging on there. So it's not like I would have actually been really resting. I would have just been hanging and getting more tired as I hanged. But I don't know. Either way, I'm just gonna say screw that noise and just try to go a different way. The way seems shorter now. You no longer have the torchlight of the goblins to follow, but you do not hurt. You stumble here and trip into the slurry water would be a fate worse than death. I don't know. I've died an awful lot, so I think, honestly think that probably wouldn't be worse. The way seems to continue on into infinite darkness, but these goblins must have come from somewhere. Explore the sewer. There is nothing else for it. You strike off along the sewer, hoping to find a way out. It is impossible to tell how much time has passed. In the world above, perhaps the sun has gone down and the stars have come out. But down here, all that you know is that the people of Khare are still throwing their slops into the grates. The water underfoot stinks, and the ducks above your head rain with thick filth. Yay, this is a wonderful fantasy adventure, isn't it? You reach a junction of two sewers, one way sealed by a grating. Guess let's go the right fork. You splash on through the water when suddenly your foot strikes something, the base of another wooden ladder sitting in a fork. Test it. You give the ladder a sharp tug to test its strength. The whole thing comes away in rotten splinters, which rain down into the water like so much slurry. There's no choice but to move on. If you keep walking for long enough, this tunnel must come out on the other side of the wall of Khare. Goblins must have entered somehow. Perhaps they have dug their own entrance, connected it to the old mines of the Shamatani Hills even. Perhaps there are more manticores about. Oh, wouldn't that be just wonderful? Let's go through the bending passage. Sewer forks again, but one way is blocked with a rusted grill. Skeleton hangs against the metal. Skeleton's arms hang through the grill, with the rest of its body on the far side. Looking closer, you see that the wrists have been bound by decaying leather bonds to the metal. You untie the poor creature, snapping its leather bonds easily with your hands. The current tugs at the skeleton, and it drifts away down the sewer beyond the grill, arms trailing out behind it as if it was trying to swim back. The grill itself is sealed and has no doorway. Why was the creature trying to reach through? Who was standing on this side to tie his arms in place? On a hunch, you look down in the filth at the bottom of the grill. Perhaps the creature was handing something through, and indeed you find a small metal box, but it is nothing, just a tinder box for lighting fires. Once it dries out, it should be serviceable once more. Which way now? Follow the sewer. The sewer continues for a distance, then ends in a solid metal grill. There's nothing more here. Okay, well at least I've explored that whole avenue. Trace your steps. Which way now? Turn back. Rotten ladder. Okay, let's keep going this way. Thundering sound announces water nearby. The sewer forks here. Well, let's check out the water. You follow the sewer. The noise of the falling water grows louder until you're standing at the foot of a plunging waterfall. The water falls from a great height above. You must be below a river or lake. You kept your hand and drink. The water is cool and refreshing, an unbelievable blessing down here in the dark. You move away quickly before you are deafened. Okay, well that was at least a nice, fortunate turn of fate there. Alright, let's try this way. You make your way along the sewer. In the distance you hear a dull groaning sound. I don't know, I don't like the sound of dull groaning. You emerge into a small chamber where a knee-deep pool of sewage has collected. The liquid is bubbling, and as you watch, a shape rises from the water. It is the smooth hide of a slime eater. It roars, gobbling slime and goo at you. Cast a spell. Let's see what we can do here. Ooh, can I make it jig? Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, go jig. You pull out your flute and begin to play. The tune stops the bulky creature in its tracks. It cocks its massive head to one side. Then suddenly it leaps from the water and, howling loudly, it begins to do the nearest thing to a dance that a slime eater can perform. You edge carefully around the creature, avoiding its trashing arms and the splashing waves it sends through the muck. Past the slime eater's lair is another tunnel. That might just be my favorite spell, to be honest, because it's like, oh no, scary fight time. Nope, happy dance. It's just best way to solve any conflicts. Further on, the sewer ends and a walkway opens up on the right. You step gratefully out of the filth and muck into a low tunnel. Oh no, a dead end. I don't like the sound of that. You arrive in a dead-end passageway, but there is a light here shining from above. You look up to see a hole in the roof of the sewer, and even better, there is a rope with a bucket hanging from the gap. You have found a disused well. You cannot believe your luck. Down here in the dark, you have been close to thinking you might never escape. So you test the rope first, expecting it to come free at the slightest tug, but it does not. It holds secure and firm. The climb will be long, but it will be safe. Reassured, you start to climb. The first few feet are wonderful. Filth runs clear from your legs, but the rest of the climb is long and makes for hard work. Oh boy, last time I climbed it didn't work out so well. Halfway up, you stop for a rest. You continue the climb, and it takes maybe half an hour of inching your way up the rope, but eventually you reach the top. You're indeed climbing out through a well into the open air. You take a deep lungful expecting crisp, fresh air, but what you get is stale and dusty. Where are you now? I guess only one way to find out. You have emerged from the sewers into a wide area of tall trees and short headstones, surrounded by a tall ironwork fence, overgrown with ivy and gripweed. You are in the necropolis of Khare, its city of the dead. The sun is beginning to set already behind the city wall to the north. You must be close to the gate now. Oh, okay, so I basically... Where did I fall in here? See, the problem with that is I need to go back to the ruins if I have a chance of getting out of here. So let's see, can I go back to explore the graveyard or... towards the north gate. See, I don't want to go to the north gate right now, though. I don't have enough of the clues. I might just be stuck here. Wouldn't that be interesting if after all this I just failed? Alright, well, let's explore the graveyard at least. The wind whistles between the tall trees. The sun is setting behind the wall. You step nervously off the path and walk between the nearest tombs. Some are ancient, headstones tilted to crazy angles, and some of them fallen face down, as though the citizens of this graveyard has been drinking since they died. Others are fresh, neatly carved and clean of all the moss and weeds. They sparkle in the moonlight, as though cleaned by maids, and waiting for their occupants to arrive. Explore the older tombs. I feel like that might be more beneficial. You leave the path for the oldest area of the graveyard, in the corner nearest to the city wall. Most of the stones here are now mere rubble. A few statues lie face down in the mud. A tree has split through a carved stone coffin. Because I feel like any hints to the city might be in the old graves as opposed to the new ones. You soon find what looks to be the oldest tomb. It is a small mausoleum with a low roof supported by ornately carved pillars. An inscription reads, "Here lies Lorag, founder of Khare." That's strange. Didn't you hear of a man named Lorag? Look at the mausoleum. Yeah, wasn't that the teacher of the orcs? The tomb is a simple stone cabinet, carved with the likeness of a man. From centuries of rain and wind, you can make out nothing of it but a long grisly beard. Below the inscription is a longer tablet, but it's half weathered and covered as moss. You clear away the dirt from the carved inscription, but you still cannot make out the words, only trace the outlines with your finger. The eyes of the carved statue appear to be watching you. For a rubbing of the inscription, you need some kind of charcoal to rub with, and you have nothing that will do. Oh, shoot. You look closer at the carved man, but notice nothing more. It is just an engraving of an old man in a serene death pose. This is really the grave of the founder of Khare. The chances are he did not die quite so peacefully. You head away from the tomb. Well, that's unfortunate. I just don't have the resources. Alright, let's see if the newer tombs are better. There are several tombs here. There must have been a recent plague on the city and on the rich in the city. They are scattered around in roughly alphabetical groups. Well, let's just take a first and go down. You browse around the tombs looking for a name you recognize, but none of them catch your eye. Something flitters past your face. A bat? You meander further between the gravestones, but still nothing stands out for you. You look from one headstone to the other. A few catch your eye, though you cannot immediately see why. You examine Priya's gravestone, but there is nothing special about it, except how new it seems to be. The stone has barely weathered at all, as if poor Priya might have only been buried last week. If that's true, however, no one has left her flowers. You walk over to Rift's tomb, but it seems quite ordinary. An angel with a covered face, and beneath his clawed feet a dying serpent. Between the serpent's open jaws hangs a bone bracelet. Yeah, see, I feel like taking a dead person's thing just seems bad. Who knows what manner of bones they are? You leave them be. Or how angry their original owner might be if you were to put the bracelet on your wrist. You leave it be. Then suddenly, you hear a deep moan and the rattle of change. Something is clouding the air in front of you. It is a death ray. This land is cursed for the living, the death ray moans, raising its ghostly spectral arms and holding out bony fingers. You must become dead. Okay. Man, this has been a pretty brutal run, too. Okay, let's see. What can I do? Oh, no. Let's not do that. Let's do... Can I do Nif? Wait. Yeah, let's try that. You cast a spell, filling the air with thick and terrible stench. The death rage does not seem to notice. After all, it does not breathe. You ready your sword and strike at the death wraith, but the blade passes straight through. It seems normal weapons cannot harm this creature, but when it lashes out with the back of his hand, you feel that well enough. Alright, let's try again. Wait, shoot. You swing the sword again, and though you see it disappear into the death wraith's being, it emerges without causing the slightest harm. The creature laughs, a sound like stones dropping into a deep, deep well, and it reaches out with clawing skeletal fingers for your neck. It will squeeze the life out of you if it can. Guess I have no choice. You're too late to respond. Oh, son of a bitch. The grip on your throat is tight and immobilizing. You cannot turn about. You can barely move your eyes. Then just as the life is choking from your lungs, the wraith draws a hooked vicious sword and plunges it into your heart. You have been stabbed through the heart. Oh boy, let's rewind to explore the newer tombs, I guess. Alright, well, let's go straight to Oxil. Let's check out Shaniva Mausoleum. You approach Shaniva's mausoleum, carved above the door. Here rests Lord Shaniva, 5th noble of Khare. You have found one new clue and other clues have been updated. Let's check out Shaniva's mausoleum. Hopefully that death race doesn't murder me. The door to Shaniva's mausoleum seems to be unlocked, and it is crack ajar, as though someone regularly came and went. Just in front of it is a ring of little mushrooms growing up against the front steps of the mausoleum. You crouch down to look at the mushrooms. They look highly poisonous, not least because you cannot see a single insect crawling around or under any of them. Unusually, the ring itself is also perfectly circular in shape. In the center, something silver glints, a snake pushed into the soft soil. Alright, let's see if I can cast Suspect, because that will let me see any danger here. Definitely feel like there's some danger here, but I don't know what it is. Sus. There we go. You cast a spell and your mind is filled with a clear sense of danger rising from the circle of mushrooms in front of you. Presumably they are poisonous, but you would surely not have been tempted to eat them anyway, so isn't the spell being overly consciousness? Before you can decide, the magic fades. Fuck it, let's take the silver snake. You reach over to pull out the silver snake, but you cannot reach it without stepping inside the mushroom ring, and your spell warned you against that. Yeah, let's just move on. It's too cold to stand still in the shadow of the wall. You stride towards the tomb door, stepping straight into the mushroom ring, except when your foot should meet the ground, it doesn't, and you find yourself falling. Oops, I wanted to go around the ring of mushrooms. I don't want to fall back into the thing. You are falling into the sewer once again, but this time there's a slime meter waiting below the duct, which you follow with its mouth wide open. You don't even hit the water. Drown this all hole. Jeez, why am I dying so much? I thought walking into the tomb would avoid the mushrooms. Oh, no. Let's, whoops. Okay, let me just die again real quick. Yeah, I know. I got you. Okay, so let's do... I guess I need to wind back to explore the newer tombs. Okay, let's try this again. This guy, then... This guy. I'm doing so good tonight. Alright, Shaniva's mausoleum. Okay. Now, I know the things are bad, so let's just make a move. Jump over the ring. You take a run jump and jump clear over the circle of mushrooms, landing on the step of the mausoleum. The air inside is freezing. Dust coats the floor. Urns line the walls, but there is no coffin. The floor space is empty, except for in the far corner where a narrow stone staircase leads down into darkness. I've been dying so much lately. Can I cast another sus? Problem is, I'm going to burn all my stamina on this. You cast a spell, clearing your mind to allow a calm inner voice to speak. It warns you that in the lower level contains a dangerous death race who can only be defeated by weapons made of silver. There's also a trap on the floor, which will prevent you from escaping here. Skulls peer at you from the walls. See, if I don't have a weapon of silver though, but I don't have anything that can... Is there anything that can compensate for not having a silver weapon? Um... Damn. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that I can do. I mean, there's clearly a silver thing inside that ring of mushrooms, but I'm not sure how to... Even then, I'm not sure how I can get it without falling into the mushroom trap. The spell's warning is enough. You turn for the door, but you must have hit some kind of switch, as with a terrible grinding sound, the door swings shut. You run for it, but there's almost isn't time. By the time you reach the doorway, the gap is barely a cubit wide and still closing. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna die. You stay back, not wanting to be crushed by the heavy stone door. It seals with a bang, and you are plunged in darkness, filled with only the sound of your own breathing, and one other noise, a distant rattle of chains. The echo of the slamming door circles the room. Things are moving across the flagstones. I think I do have a levitation spell, but I don't think I can cast it. Because I need a special thing. Let me see. It's Zen. Yeah, see? I need a jewel-studded medallion. So I don't have the tool to be able to levitate, unfortunately. If I did, that's what I would have done to get the thing out of the mushrooms. But either there's another spell I can cast, or I can't get it right now. Because I don't have the ability to levitate. Alright, let's light the tinderbox. You fumble for the tinderbox and strike it. A spark flashes, but without any tinder, the flame cannot catch and goes dark just as quickly as it lit. You dig through your plaque for something flammable. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to burn my spellbook. That seems really stupid. You close your pack once more. It isn't worth the loss. The darkness is absolute. Anything could have your throat in this gloom. Pray for aid. You close your eyes and raise a fervent prayer to the gorilla. For a moment you do not think it is heard. Then somewhere underground you hear a mighty crash, as though a heavy weight has fallen from a fraying rope. The door judges in response. It seems the counterweight which had caused it to close has come away, so you should now be able to open the door. Getting your fingers into the crack between the door and the wall, you are able to prise it open a fraction, then a little further still, until the cool air of the graveyard is flowing into the mausoleum. You gasp with relief. Something rushes across your boots and into a crack in the stone. Let's see if I can get the silver. You're taking no more chances. You head quickly out of the door and back to the path. Avoid the ring of rushers as you leave. Outside night is falling. Things are stirring between the moaning trees. You do well to not linger here. Something scurries across your foot and is gone. Gosh, I'm doing so bad. I'm doing so very bad. Alright, let's just leave. You return to the path gratefully and make your way to the far side of the graveyard. Besides the gate is a disused well, perhaps once used to draw water to wash bodies before interment. You peer back down into the well. The climb was certainly long. You can make out nothing of the bottle at all. You turn the winch on the side of the well, drawing up the bucket from beneath. It comes to the top, filled with clear water. It must be drawn from a level even lower than the sewers you explored. Is this as fresh as the water from the other fountain you tried? You scoop a handful of water to taste it. Despite your surroundings, it is fresh and quite clear. You feel much better for it. The rear gate of the graveyard hangs from its hinges, but not with age. It seems it has been taken apart, maybe widened even to let something through. Beyond is deep forest. Alright, well, I guess I did the best I could. Hopefully I can somehow get past the gate, because right now I'm thinking I'm not going to have much success here. You walk for half an hour through the thick trees along a narrowing track until you reach a fork in the road. To the left, the track gets narrower still. To the right, massive shadow looms, so large it seems as though a colossus has seated itself on the wall in thought. A chill wind blows through you, as though ghosts walk back and forth this way. The shadow to the right has a jagged silhouette. It is a ziggurat, perhaps 100 steps leading to its apex. The trees whisper and move. Looking left, you see a distant flickered torchlight through the trees. The north gate, perhaps? Night is drawing in. You should get moving. Things whisper beyond the trees. Yeah, let's check out the ziggurat. I mean, if I'm going to find any magical spells, it seems like that would be a good place to look. You stand at the base of a towering ziggurat built from carved stone blocks, each the size of a hay bale. The temple rises higher than the city wall, and positioned to catch the first star of evening at its uppermost point, a moment which has just passed. You tilt your head back, looking for an opening, and finally make one out. A small black dot about a third of the way up, but even that is quite some climb. For the less devoted worshippers, a small gargoyle above the steps has an open mouth, ready to accept our offerings. Gargoyle is carved in the shape of a small but spiky dog, with long claws, sharp horns, and a pointed beard. Its mouth is wide open, and its tongue lolls out with a coin-shaped slot in the back of its throat. You drop a gold piece into the gargoyle's mouth. For a moment nothing happens, then it appears to swallow, and next it opens its stone eyelids to reveal two crisp and beautiful eyes. Looking to the gargoyle's eyes fills you with a sense of calm and peace. The eyes close after a moment, but the sense of well-being remains. Or did you just imagine that the gargoyle moved? You begin to climb, hauling yourself up the first step. Either this ziggurat was built for giants, or ascending it is an act of devotion. The next few steps are equally exhausting. You have to throw your pack up first and follow. Oh, you know what? I bet I can just cast Big and make this climb a lot easier. Grow in size. You cast a spell, swelling to 3 times your size. You are now able to run up the stairs. The scale quickly changes. It seems the boulders of the pyramid created an optical illusion. The later steps are not as high as the lower ones. The change is so gradual that you hardly notice as the spell fades. You reach a halfway point, almost as high as the city wall beyond, and pause to rest. You're halfway up. Friezes of gargoyles and polished metal ring the temple on this level. Oh yeah, that's a good point, chat. It's definitely like the spiky dog from Vandal Hearts. Yeah, let's eat. I could use the food. At least away from the rats and night foxes that live on the ground, you are free to eat. You take out the last of your cheese and bread and eat it quickly, feeling better for both the nourishment and the rest. The wind claws at you, trying to pull you to earth. You pause a little longer to take in the view. From this side of the ziggurat, you can see nothing but the top of the wall, and beyond, the gleaming darkness of the marshes of the Bachlands. You move around the north face. You can see the path ahead, running straight between wild and overgrown trees. It seems very few people come this way anymore. The north gate itself is now visible, however, and appears deserted. Then you notice a point of light. A torch has been lit between the trees. You watch as the torches move through the trees towards the path. They are making slow progress, but they are moving towards the graveyard and presumably from there on into town. You continue the weary climb to the first level of the ziggurat. You climb for another 20 minutes up the steep stone steps until you are gasping and panting for breath once more. But finally you reach the dark opening that you saw from the base of the temple. The steps themselves continue up a little further still, to the very peak of the temple. The opening is guarded by rock-sculpted images of unimaginable creatures. Beyond, you see a long dark hallway with something large and gleaming at the far end. You step into the temple. The hollow space amplifies your footsteps, and they echo eerily for several moments. On the floor, in gilt inlay, is written the name of the god who inhabits this space. It seems it's a ziggurat of Khare the Gracious. You wait for a few heartbeats to see if you have disturbed anything. Nothing happens, and then you catch the tail of a gigantic snake slithering across the floor and disappearing into a crack in one wall. From the markings along its back, it looks highly poisonous. Screw it. You enter the temple, but the snake still manages to catch you by surprise, launching itself from a crack in the ceiling behind you. Oh gosh, she was coming out of the gate hard. The temple snake snaps and hisses at the air between you. You drop into a defensive crouch, stepping well back, and as it shoots forward, you fall badly as you stagger back. Oh no, this is bad. Ow. I didn't think it would have that much from the second thing. Then the temple snake is sliding across the flagstones towards you with lethal speed. Poisonous fangs are open wide. You try to cut across its body, but it catches a blow with its hard tailed tip. It knocks you backwards into the main part of the temple. Your head spins. You feel the prickling of the serpent poison as it burns your way into the fangs. It hisses from the darkness. You wait as the temple snake shifts, foolishly exposing its belly. Then you attack. Launching off your heels, you lunge for the beast's neck. It slips away from beneath your blade. Its head tumbles backwards into the gloom. Into the stone. It spits in the gloom. Yeah, I got this. I got you, dog. Temple Snake is retreating, but you give chase. You cleave the air with your sword. It recoils quickly. The snake lashes out wildly in its agony. How? Why does it do 2 per? You drop into a crouch. The temple snake slithers beneath the pillars, but you repel it with your blade. The snake has you backed up against the temple wall. Aha! I got you. You give chase as the snake winds between a group of gargoyles and loses sight of you behind a pillar. Swinging up from a low crouch, you aim to sever the snake's head. With a weird scream that echoes around the cold stone, the snake dies, its head crashing to the floor. 7 stamina lost. Shameful. You wipe your sword clean and wait for the violent echoes of the fight to fade away. Then you go further in. The sight of the shrine takes your breath away. The walls are decorated with brightly colored murals depicting scenes from the religious mythology of Khare. Fine ornaments and precious metals are set into alcoves around the pews, in which woven tapestries cover every surface. Cunning trick of architecture catches the wind past the doorway and creates a constant ethereal humming, as though a crowd of monks sat in permanent meditation inside. At the far end of the hallway, 4 large stone gargoyles of winged demons watch over the shrine from mounts high up in the eaves, guarding the altar on which a gigantic idol squats. Kurga himself. It is a life-size version of the model of Kurga you saw in the abandoned house yesterday. Oh, cool. Well, I know his ritual, right? You walk up towards the altar, across a richly patterned carpet. Something about it gives you pause. Its surface is decorated with wide symbols that seems almost too deliberate to be accidental. Yeah, let's hit another sus because I don't want to risk doing this. I've only got 4 stamina. So, sus. I got this. You cast a spell, and clear, calm voice enters your mind and informs you that there is indeed a trap in the rug in front of you. But before it can tell you where, the second present enters your mind. Booming, it declares, "Make your choice, worshipper." Kurga himself, perhaps? Let's try avoiding the star shapes. Oh no, you walk towards the altar, carefully avoiding the star shapes moving into pattern, but along the way something happens, you can't be sure what. Once you're falling. Oh, into the sewer and I'm gonna get eaten again. Great, fantastic. How many times have I gotten eaten this time? What is my fate? Okay, let's try. Where was I? Approach the altar. Avoid the spirals? Nope. See, now it's starting to feel more like a choose your own adventure where I'm just basically trial and error. Where's the altar? I mean, is there a clue that I can somehow use to do this? I mean, how would I know? Weapon. I mean, I know his ritual, but I don't know what his... And I mean, I'm not really sure what spells could really be helpful here. So I don't think I have any, other than Zen, I don't really have anything that can... I mean, I guess I could cast something to help me float if I fall, but that doesn't really get me across the thing. Avoid the circles? You walk up to the altar, carefully camping around the circle in the carpet, and reach the altar steps without incident. Okay, whew, the altar. I'm just tired of dying. You stand before the idol, a fat statue set with gems and curious pockmarked features. Above its head is a plaque that bears an inscription. It reads, "On Karaga's face you kiss a cross, and finish with the lips. For answers to your questions you must err not, else he spits." You step nervously up the steps until you are below the great statue. You consider the idol. It is the same as the statuette in the abandoned house, except that had blue dots painted on its 2 eyes, its 3rd eye in the forehead, and on its lips. Alright, let's see. What was that ritual again, real quick? Because I really don't want to screw this up. I've died enough this time. Let's see. Ritual is left eye, right eye, and then forehead. Okay. Kiss the idol. You stand on tiptoes and lean in, preparing to kiss the statue. But where? Does the humming in the temple seem to be getting louder? So it's left eye, then right eye, then forehead. Right? The statue is clearly just a statue. There is no god here. You get to your feet and walk away from the statue and out of the temple, crestfallen. Wait, hold on. No, I don't, no. I didn't come all this way just to leave. But I mean, that was it. Left eye, right eye, then forehead, right? So did I not? You know what? I'm gonna rewind because I can't just let this one go. Oh, you're right. The mouth. Yeah. Let's avoid the circles. But did the ritual say the mouth though? I mean, I guess I. Oh, that's right. I did kiss the mouth. I forgot about that. It's been a long time since I played. Let's see. Kraga. Yeah, see, left eye, right eye, forehead. But you're right. The clues didn't mention that I did have to actually kiss the mouth in the thing. Alright, so let's see. Read it. Okay. Kiss the idol. Alright, so left eye, right eye. Well, to be fair, I did die before. So, yeah, I guess I just really wanted a win here. You lean low and kiss the idol lips. As you do so, you hear a small click. There's a sharp stabbing pain at the back of your throat. You try to call out, but it seems the poison on the tip of the dart, which has just been shot from the golden mouth onto your own, is too fast acting. You stiffen, a silent scream in your face, and slump to the ground into darkness from which you shall not pick away. Such is a price for failing the kissing ritual Karaga. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot the damn forehead. Oops. You have died from a god's kiss. So hey, there you go, chat. I did die, so technically I didn't break my rule. Alright. Dang it, I'm going to get into this damn temple. I have sacrificed far too much. Okay. Alright, let's do this right this way. Read it. Then let's kiss. And it's left eye. Right eye. Forehead. Then lips. Finally, you lean low and kiss the idol's lips. As you straighten once more, you see the idol's eyes flick open. A soft voice issues from its mouth. Stranger, you are not of my faith, whispers the god, and yet you have completed my ritual. How can that be? I've used my wits. The god laughs softly. My brother Pashna is the god of thieves and tricksters, but you are in my temple today. I will answer 3 questions if you have questions to ask. You take a moment to think over everything you have learnt and not learnt about the Northgate spell, but you have only learnt very few of the lines of the spell. Tell me the spell for the gate. You command, hoping for the god's aid. I cannot tell you the spell, Kurga replies after a long mysterious pause. Only the nobles know. Molus, Shinva, Theta, and Lorag. The last of these is a follower of Kurga, and his line is, Tumblers too sealed deep inside. For the others, find the others and the spell will be yours. The god awaits your next question. How do I find Lord Molus? The second noble has been dead for a long time, Kurga replies softly. Although he does not stay dead, he moves around in the lower part of the city, half decayed, half animated corpse. God waits for your final question. How can I find Lord Theta? You ask, bowing as you speak. The god murmurs to himself. Lord Theta is now blind and begging in a ruined part of the city, but know this, he does not want to be found. Great silence descends across the room, and then the god speaks once more. Now, he intones. I have a question for you. You have completed my ritual. Do you wish to enter my worship? What sort of god are you? Karaga seems almost to smile. I am the god of grace, he replies. There are few as generous as I. Sure, why not? Very good, Karaga intones. There is a moment of quiet humming that rolls around the temple until it becomes almost too much to bear. Then a moment later, you feel the god's presence inside you. My aid comes with no price, but there is a condition. You must ask graciously enough to receive it. Great sense of well-being floods your body. You turn and head out of the temple door. You have found one new clue, and other clues have been updated. Oh, so now I can play to Kurga. That's interesting. That's good because I'm a good person anyway, right? So let's see. How did what did I get there? Second, it's been cursed down, living here. Torments the sins. So that thing I fought actually before is So that thing I fought before must have been the must have actually been the noble. That was a long time ago. That's been several weeks now. Alright, you're back by the opening of the temple. Let's keep going up. You turn back to the steps and climb higher, all the way up to the top of the ziggurat. Night has fallen. Stars spread across the sky in a peaceful repose that belies their true nature. Warring spirits tussling for control of the world below. You look out across the city. In the far distance, you see torches in the woods towards the north gate. Looking back, you see the lights of Khare are coming on, and the shouts of revelers, drunk and nighttime thieves. Khare has no idea what's coming. With your head tilted back, you can see more stars than you ever have seen in this city. Perhaps you are above the level of the lights and the smog and the dust, or perhaps more stars choose to cluster here around the sacred site. If you are a true mage and not a mere sorcerer, who knows what spells one could weave at a spot like this? The icy winds chill you to the bone. You lean back and look up, trying to recognize the stars from your study. Alright, let's see if I can cast something cool. Oh no. See, I don't know any... There were some... What was it? What were some of the things I learned at the, I feel like casting a random spell is probably not a good idea. Yeah, let's just abandon ship here. You give up. Perhaps the stranger aspects of magic are not for you. The view is quite wondrous, but your journey beckons. You start the long climb back down the ziggurat once more. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cast something randomly. If I had remembered some of the other letters, I may have tried one of those, but nope. You look out into the north. The thick trees are still lit by torchlight, and you hear the distant baying of wolves. Half an hour passes. Nothing changes except the sky grows colder, and the wind picks up, cutting through your cloak. You have seen enough. You climb quickly back down the steps and retrace your steps to the fork in the road. The mud underfoot is stamped with footprints, and in between them, the prints of many paws. This is probably bad. I'm about to get in some more shit. You walk between clawing trees and thick bushes. The north gate is finally in sight. You can see its imposing, ornately carved wooden doors over the top of the guard huts and low buildings that lie at the end of this road. You pause to watch the guard huts. They seem quite still. One has a hole in its roof. Weed goes through the chimney of another. Are they abandoned? But between here and there is a long road, lined with thick, gloomy trees, a patch of wild forest like you haven't seen since the hills. You make your way slowly forward, trying to ensure your feet do not crunch too loudly on the gravel. Something catches your eyes. Movement in the shadows. On both sides of the road. Torchlight. You stop, ducking into the shadows, and watch. Whatever is moving in the darkness, there are a lot of them. Then a gleam of moonlight catches one and you see it clearly. A wolf clad in tight metal armor. No, a werewolf. And the armor is the same as the one you saw before in the ship. Sniffs the air. It has caught your stink. The foul airs of the sewer still cling to your clothes and hair. No matter. You have defeated werewolves before. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to try to fight considering how low I am. Vic for first noble! The werewolf stretches itself down on its haunches and whines. From behind the trees, a ruffian steps out, leading several more werewolves behind him. Well met, friend, he answers. Vic for first noble. What happens tonight? He looks at you in bafflement. Tonight is the night. Where have you been? Have you been hit on the head? You need to get yourself sober, friend. You're right, you admit. He laughs. You're going the wrong way, the man observes. The fight is this way. and he points along the road back to town. I'm checking the rear. The man nods. A rear attack when we face the guards in front could be serious. Good idea. Go well, friend, and I hope you find nothing. With that, he whistles to his wolves and sweeps away into the night. You breathe a sigh of heavy relief. Yeah, no, fuck that noise. I mean, this whole Vic taking over the city thing seems pretty crappy, but I don't know if I really have the ability to stop that. I think my luck in the city has been so negative. I haven't really done anything that can help me stop that. I don't know. You have reached the north gate. The ground before it is wide and clear, and lit by blazing torches set into brackets either side of the enormous sealed doors. Should there be archers hiding in the shadows, they would have a clear sight on you. Off to one side is a well, but there is no other cover. You don't know all the spell lines, of course, but perhaps the gate will open to a dop spell after all? You wait in the shadows and watch. If the guards are patrolling, you should be able to learn their patterns, but strangely, there seem to be no guards here at all. Perhaps because the gate is locked, no one bothers to guard it anymore? Throwing caution to the wind, you step out of the shadows and approach the gate. Time to see if you learned enough on your travels through the city to unlock the gate. Who knows, maybe if I fail at this, it'll give me the chance to go back, but I'm kind of doubting it. You reach the other side of the clearing unscathed and stand below the enormous doors. You knock firmly on the door. When there is no response, you call out, "I'm here to open this gate." There is no response. You begin to wonder if you have been tricked. If there is no gate here at all, and this is simply an illusion painted across a solid stone wall. Suddenly, you are not alone. A phantom voice issues from the wood itself. "Halt, stranger," it booms. "Do you know the spell which controls the gate?" "I do not," you reply honestly. The voice begins to laugh. "Then the gate denies you," replies the voice. From across the hearing, you hear a scrabbling sound of metal moving over stone. You look around but see nothing. You gaze into the shadows by the wall, expecting from the sound to see guardsmen sneaking along and dragging the points of their swords across the stones behind them. There is nothing there. Then you hear a cry and you whip around to see a face emerging from the well shaft in the corner of the clearing. It bears the leering, hook-toothed smile of a goblin. The creature is climbing a rope with a grappling hook attached, which is hooked over the lip of the well. You turn to run, aiming to find somewhere you can hide and watch what unfolds, but then you realize you are running for your life as goblin after goblin clambers from the well and begins to race across the clearing towards you. There's no way you can fight 100 goblins, so you dash aside into the shadows. Oh geez, this is getting nuts. So the goblins pour up to the gate. Are they going to try and ram it? But then they stop, and in their midst a small figure is being propelled forward. It is the Mad King. He is surrounded by a guard of nearly 20 goblins. You hang back, watching as the figure nears the gate. Leaning down to the lock, he whispers something, but you cannot hear what he says. A moment later, the gate begins to move. It is opening. You hang back, watching. Looking through, you make out figures in the darkness beyond the gate. Marsh goblins, thousands of them, screaming and armed for war. They begin to race forwards, pouring through the gate, filling the clearing and meeting their hill cousins in a loud and violent celebration. The man with the circlet at the gate cries with glee. "A new day for Khare begins!" he cries, clambering onto the shoulders of a nearby goblin, as though to make a speech. Quite suddenly, the goblins that are carrying him let go. He cries out as he falls to the ground. A sword goes up. There is a scream. They have murdered their own king. What is going on here? The circlet from his head rolls to your feet. The goblins, clashing sword on shield, look towards the city with violent eyes. Oh, so it seems like they were only using him to open the gate. Alright, let's take the circlet. From the way the king was clutching the circlet, you might have thought it was a thing of power, perhaps akin to the crown of kings itself, but it is nothing. Cheap, hammered iron, it still bears the groove from when it was once a goblin sword. You toss it into the dust. Oh, so that king must have been one of the nobles. Hide in the shadows. You hang back in the shadow of the gate. More and more goblins are surging through the gate, and they are starting to organize. One, a leader of some kind, is hoisted up by others so he can address the crowd. "Khare falls!" he screams in his guttural voice, "and every creature dies!" Perhaps when their rampage has begun, you will be able to slip out through the gate and continue your mission, so long as you are willing to let Khare burn. Oh boy, is there a spell I can use? Khare is just such a screwed up town. Like, holy hell. Let's see. Raz, stop. I mean, I'm not really sure what I can do really to help. Um, I mean, I could try mud, maybe? Maybe that could at least protect the gate from people coming in. Let's see. Um. Oh, balls. Am I just gonna have to fight this out? Oh, wait. Can I make them dance? Oh my god, if I can make them dance, that would be so amazing. You cast a spell and begin to play the pipe. Nearby goblins are arrested by the sound, and against their will, they begin to dance around each other, waving their arms and swords in the air. Unfortunately, the spell does not capture the whole army. The other goblins turn to look at their jigging fellows and see you. There is no time for more magic. Alright, let's just go. You ready your sword. On the plus side, these goblins are pretty easy to kill, so hopefully I can just, like, mow through them without dying. And I'm not going to read these because it seems like, they kind of have the same thing. Oh no! Shit. Okay. I'm just gonna try to just beat him out. Oh no, that's bad. No, I did bad this time. Again, I'm getting too aggressive because I want to try to beat these battles perfectly so I don't lose any stamina. Yeah, I know, you're right. Eager for your blood. Let's see. Let's start off with a defend, actually. Oh, jeez. Tracks nervously. Let's do 4. Okay, well, at least that's not as bad as it could have been. Tracks you nervously. 5. He's just defending the whole time. Can I beat him out? No! Definitely not. Alright, try again. Defend. Problem is now I only have 3 stamina, so. Alright. Bow. Okay, hopefully I can just beat it out here. Yay! Okay, see, that's the best. If I can just keep killing them without losing stamina, that's my best bet. I've got to run for it, though. You cannot keep this up. Wave after wave of goblins is filling the yard. You cannot hope to kill them all with just your sword. You turn and race away into the shadows. Then a voice rings out. Stop! There's a better way. You look around but can see no one. But all around you something is happening, as though the goblins have slowed down, their warmongering becoming an absurd stately dance. The noise is clearing dulls to a low rumble. I command you to stop, the voice cries, and suddenly you feel yourself held rigid. From the smoke of the torches by the gate, a figure emerges. It is an old man with a long beard and deep black irised eyes. He paces through the churning goblin army to stand in the open. His legs disappear into a spectral trail. He is at least part wraith. Step forward, he commands, and you find yourself bidden. Oh, okay, well, hi. Hello, sir. Please don't kill me. The goblins seem to part around you like smoke as you approach the figure. I have aligned 3 stars, the ghostly man declares. Vic rises tonight. The goblins show their hand tonight. But also you. You are here tonight. My name, the figure intones, is Lorag. I was once a scholar and a noble of the city. Later, I founded it. You founded it later? You reply confused. Who is this crazed chaise? I I saw Khare was falling. Sanzas had lost his mind and sided with the goblins. The council was in ruins. My own life was threatened. I saw that Khare needed to be saved, so I went back to remake it in a way that could be saved. And here we are now. You have been here 2 days. I have been here hundreds of years, waiting for you to bring me the spell for the gate. Why do you need me? I created the spell, Lorik replies, long ago. It has been passed down since then, changed, lost to me, split into 4 lines. I knew it would happen, since I was given one of those lines myself. So I prepared someone to find it again for me. For this night, I prepared you. Explain, you reply, head in a whirl. What are the spell lines for? I thought they unlocked the gate. The spell does not open the gate. His tone is heavy and dark, like tarred timber. The spell controls it, and there are deep magics buried into the wood itself. Magics that have poisoned the city and burnt fire into the eyeballs of those who live nearby. He stares at you, his coal black eyes expressing no emotion. Deep magics I place there to be used by you tonight. I am dead. You must act for me. How can I find this magic, you ask? I tried to find them, but they were too well hidden. A wizard nods. The lines are known to 4 nobles. Lord Theta is blind and living in the wastelands of Upper Khare. Lord Shinva is dead but not yet forgotten in his mausoleum in the necropolis. Lord Molus was a follower of the god Slang, and in his shrine near the docks of Lower Khare you may learn his line. But there is no more time, you insist. It is too late. There is magic, Lorag replies, that will give you the time you need. I cast it on myself once, and went far back to before this city was built. I founded Khare. Now you will save it. He waits to let his words sink in. If you will allow me, he says, I will bend time itself, so that you may return to the city and find the spell for the gate. So, shall you take the adventure, or will you leave Khare to burn? Understand also, he adds darkly, I will curse you in the journey to follow if you do not assist me. You hesitate. Khare is a city of traps, but also of secrets, and there is still more that you might find. Can you afford to let the city port burn? Oh no, I just want to leave so badly, but I can't be a jerk. Know what? I feel like there's some goodness in Khare, and even though this is basically dooming me through another search next week, let's continue the damn search. I will help you, you tell him. The wizard nods. I thank you. He raises his arm and begins the spell. The raging goblins stand like statues. You feel yourself lifting up from your body as though you have been snatched away by birdmen. As you lift into the air and you hear Laura cry out one last piece of advice. Find the lines, and find the order of the lines. Khare dindles beneath you and you feel your body growing weaker. Oh, jeez. Okay, interesting. So it looks like I have the chance to play through this essentially. So sort of like the rewind, it looks like I can basically go back and try to find the spells that I missed. So I think I'm just gonna start from here. Oh no, though. This is should I just start from the beginning though? No, I think I did all right at least until I started here. And then that's where everything started going to hell. The problem is though, is like, do I really want to just like go all the way back through this game to try to help this dude? That's a lot of work. Oh, what the hell. I'm a good person. I can do this. Screw it. Let's go back to the fields. Okay. You are being wrenched in directions you did not know existed. The pain is unbearable, and just when you think you will go mad from it, the forces tear you apart. You struggle to grab onto your belongings and your very self as you tumble down from the clouds. Then you are awake, your eyes open once more. Your surroundings have changed. Following the track for a few minutes, you reach a junction where 3 roads begin. These are the outskirts of Khare. Huts huddle like beggars on either side of the tracks leading uphill into the city port. Time to choose your road. Somewhere in the city must be the information you find the spell lines for the north gate that the innkeeper told you about. Just at that moment, your cart rolls down the road. This time, however, the crates on it wobble but do not fall, and it disappears up the road, leaving nothing behind. Interesting. It seems everything is fixed after all. Alright, well, you know what? I think, even though it's a little bit early, I think that's about as good of a stopping point as we're gonna get. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll regret this choice next week, but on the plus side, I still have all the knowledge I had before. So hopefully this gives me the opportunity to next run through, give me a better shot at, essentially getting what I need. So hopefully I can save Khare and make it less of a shithole for other people to travel through. That's basically my goal. Uh, because the city was such a terrible city, my goal is hopefully I can try to fix it. That said, if I don't find all the clues on a second run through of this, I'll just let the damn thing burn. I'm not gonna loop through it multiple times, but I think with one playthrough under my belt, hopefully I can have the Khare acumen to kind of you know have a good idea of what I need to do. Like, for example, I know I need to get a silver weapon. I know not to get kidnapped 3 times. I know to try to, like, how to get the spells and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll do a little bit better this next time around. But yeah, I think that's enough for me. My brain and my heart are kind of done for tonight. So next week we will be picking this back up, and hopefully we can make it out of Kare in one piece and somehow make this city a slightly better city along the way. So I guess we'll see. And until then, hopefully I'll see you on the next episode next Monday at 6 Central. And otherwise, I hope you have a good night.